here with a layout for 30 Days of Sketches, Series 12, if you guys can believe it. This is day 8, so the sketch was created by Kristen from Scrapping on the Fly. I posted it at the beginning of the video, and it's also in my Instagram if you want to go and check that out and get a better look at the sketch. And I think it's so much fun. It's super kind of whimsical the way that she created it with all the different colors, which could very much kind of give you that helping hand to pick papers and pick a theme and you know, put your layout together. If you wanted to do sort of that rainbow theme, I think that that's super duper fun. But also there's just so much potential for it. I really appreciate that when a sketch can have kind of a guiding hand. It gives you kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it sets you on the right path, but then it has a lot of open space for you to go ahead and add embellishments or place a title or anything like that. So definitely a really fun sketch. Go and check it out. There's a master playlist that is linked down below, like other series in the past. Well, maybe just series 10 and 11 whenever we started the master playlist, but other series as well that are doing these master playlists. You just click on it and you can go through. Everybody who's participating is adding their videos to that playlist, so you don't have to worry about clicking on any links or anything like that. You can just start watching them and start with day 1 and roll through, you know, click shuffle and just randomly watch them. So whatever works for you, just like any other playlist. I think it's such a fabulous idea. And if you have time on your hands, there are going to be tons of videos. So be sure to click that link and yeah, have fun. Enjoy all of the inspiration. So for my version of this layout or this sketch, I'm actually creating this as a live on the Wild Whisper Facebook page. So if you want to see this video in real time and hear my thoughts and just, you know, kind of see where I'm going with it, definitely go ahead and take a look at that. It's on the Wild Whisper Facebook page, and you can still see the live. I have it posted there, so you can watch the replay. If you are watching this anytime on the 8th of June, you can also go and comment on that replay and potentially be entered to win a Wild Whisper mystery box if you live in North America. Anyone who comments in any way, even just to say hi, your name will be entered into the draw. So be sure to go do that. I'll leave the link down below if you aren't familiar with the Facebook page. So definitely go and do that if you kind of want to see the real-time version of me putting this together. But if it looks a little bit weird or I'm doing things with my hands that looks like I'm talking to somebody, it's because I'm actually talking to people live on the Facebook page. I filmed it with my phone. Oh, like right now you can see I'm explaining the concept of like not really measuring because I'm okay with not measuring. But yes, you can see it live or you can watch it here. So I think that's what our conversation was, that I just kind of put that middle piece down and then I didn't really measure putting the other strips down. But what I did is I went into my Wild Whisper kit and I had these 2 pictures, and I knew that there were a couple of collections in the Wild Whisper kit that, in my Wild Whisper kit, that could work really well with these photos. So I was thinking either the Sassy Since Birth, because Fox in these pictures is kind of looking a little sassy and he's got his tongue sticking out in one of them, or the Child at Heart collection. So either one of those I thought would work really well. So I went ahead and I grabbed some patterns. These are all the ones I use anyways, for the strips and for mounting the pictures here. Those are all from Child at Heart. And then that background paper is a Nicole Wright paper, also from Wild Whisper. I just kind of liked the circles, the doodly circles, and I thought that actually matches what Kristen has in her sketch, where she had the dots kind of going around to the outside of the background paper. And so I thought that sort of linked really nicely to the sketch, and I liked how kind of fun and whimsical it was. And then the middle larger piece that Kristen has, where all of the strips are kind of going through, she has that represented as blue. And the back of that circly doodly paper from Nicole Wright just happened to be blue. And so I thought, if I could make my measurements work properly and get my trimmer to work for me, which sometimes works out and sometimes doesn't, that I could go ahead and just cut the center and just flip it. So that's what I ended up doing. Here I'm doing some more talking. I might just go ahead and cut some of that talking out. We'll see how it goes. But yes, so that's what I ended up doing. So I've left myself an 1.5 inch border all the way around, cut the center out, and just flipped it so I kind of have that base matte as the blue, and then I put the strips going down through that blue paper. And I cut my strips at 1.25 inches so that I could get all of them across there, but you could still see some of that blue popping through. And then the other kind of difference that I did with my layout is I only have the 2 photos. So I was explaining in the live that I was kind of looking for either a grouping of 3 pictures that I could use just like in the sketch, or maybe a grouping of 2 pictures and a journaling card or something along those lines that could represent the 3rd picture. But after I kind of cut these pictures down and I liked the way they looked as squares and I put them onto the background, I think that they just fit really well as only 2 photos. So that's what I went ahead and left it at. So I basically just followed the sketch pretty much to a T at this point with putting my designs together. My dimensions probably aren't exactly the same, but that's the beauty of a sketch like Kristen's. She didn't put any measurements or specific dimensions, so that's kind of up to you to fill the page in the way that works the best for you. So that's what I went ahead and did. And then once I had everything down, I just went into my ephemera kit. There isn't a lot of embellishment going on in the sketch, and so here's a spot where it's kind of open to your interpretation. So I just went ahead and went through the ephemera case that I have filled with all of the Wild Whisper ephemera. And I looked to see what I could possibly use that might work well with this particular layout. So I was looking for something that kind of had, maybe something about being a sassy kid or whatever, which I know they have in the Sassy Since Birth collection. And then just maybe something goofy or anything like that. And so I found the rainbow. I found the little phrase that says "you are loved." I found something that says "tough day" with an exclamation mark, which I thought maybe could be sort of sarcastic. My journaling will reflect that a little bit, because Fox has his leg up and he's got his arms kind of resting behind his head like he's had such a tough day of, being a toddler. And then there's a little die cut right above the tough day that says "kiss my sass," because he's sticking his tongue out. So I thought that worked really good. I was kind of looking for similar colors or the same collection, which 3 of those 4 pieces are all from the Child at Heart. So all of those colors match. The Kiss My Sass is from the Sassy at Birth collection, but it happened to be black with kind of an orangey color to it. So I thought that worked really well. And I just picked 2 random spots where I thought I could kind of balance those really nicely, because again, there wasn't any indication for ephemera in the sketch, so it was kind of up to me. So I went ahead and put them kind of in the 2 bottom corners of the pictures. And then I added a couple of little, they're those like foam, well, they're not foam, they're like puffy stickers, but the hard puffy sticker, the harder plastic. In silver, I put a heart in each of those little clusters and then 2 of the little plus signs. And now I'm just going to fill in with a bunch of sequins just to add a few pops of color. So I went for the Wild Whisper Ocean of Teal, which is all teal colors of different shapes and sizes of sequins. So I added a few of those. I added some black and I added some orange. I did a little vote on on the live to see what colors people thought might kind of pop in the sequins. And so those were the ones that won. So that's what I went ahead and added. And then I'm going to do a bit of a sketchy border around the blue. I felt like it needed just a little bit of a fighting chance to stand out, and then a sketchy border around the very, very edge. I kind of debated about doing it around every one of the pattern papers, but I didn't end up doing that because I felt like I think the patterns don't necessarily compete too much with each other in real life. As I'm looking at it here in the camera, it might look like it's busy, but in real life it's really not as busy as it seems. So I left those, but that's the kind of thing that you could look at your layout, over a few days or whatever, and then decide if you want to change your mind and add some sort of sketchy border to each of those pattern papers. So I could always change my mind about that. And then I wanted to do a few splatters because I was looking for some different textures. Everything in this layout is glossy. All of the paper is glossy. The ephemera pieces are glossy. The puffy stickers aren't glossy, but they have that kind of shine to them. And so they are a bit of a different texture and a little bit of dimension. And the sequins add some new texture. They're all different shapes and sizes and looks to them, so that's really fun. But I like the splatters for some texture too because they're shimmer and they're matte and they just look kind of cool. So that is it for me. That is my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please click subscribe if you haven't already and check out the links down below. You can use my discount code in the Wild Whisper store. It's DTGen, and that will save you some money on your next purchase. I'm saying my goodbyes in the live, as you can see, so I'll say my goodbyes to you guys too. Thanks again, and until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.
Bye. Thanks to me. She button. Time my chair.